Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity upper left-hand corner. We got Neoko starting as the red Protoss. Bottom left-hand corner we got Tom starting as the yellow Zerg, who's been looking strong thus far. And we are on Dominator, 3-player map, this being the other spawn. Between the three, it looks like we have an Overlord that's headed directly towards Neoko's base. With the this is kind of an interesting angle for Tom, actually, where it's initially sent out. I'm wondering if he's going to re-angle it along this ridgeline to the natural expansion. Anyway, this is one of those maps that can go, well, can go either way. So you got the inverted ramp, which makes it a little bit harder for Zerglings to get things accomplished. You've got, I take that back. If Zerglings get the high ground here, it can be disastrous. If Zealots get the high ground opposite direction, it can be disastrous. Early game, a lot of units ends up stronger across the board. And otherwise, you've got kind of the, you know what's funny? I feel like they developed these pizza slices in particular to make it a little bit more awkward for Zerg to get good surface area for Hydralisk busts. But I feel like they haven't had, through the season, I don't feel like they've had a lot of trouble with this thus far. See if Tom opts for an overpool once again. It looks like he is saving resources right this second as the Overlord is complete. So it looks like he's going to go for an 11 hatchery here initially. In the meantime, we have Gateway first, which, depending on scouting order and Neoko's macro, which should be pretty decent, should end up in a pretty good scenario to do some economic damage to Tom. Usually, as the Zerglings are spawning, the Zealots are already in the main, which can make it for make issue for tough defense. Neoko, pretty fast scout with that probe. She'll cut into his economy slightly, but will guarantee he knows where to go. In fact, let's see if he keeps the probe in the field. Oftentimes, some Protoss players will draw the probe back, others will keep them around just to go ahead and provide that extra little bit of space to create a little bit of extra firepower. Probes actually do really, really well against Zerglings, surprisingly enough, if they're microed particularly well. Zerglings as ferocious as they are, it's kind of, I'm trying to think of something else where it's like fierce in numbers. Bees? Would bees count? Little Zerglings, kind of like bees. Anyway, point being, the more Zerglings you add, this carrier gets up to a particular limit, that being the surface area. First Zealot away, second Zealot's already queued up. And Probe is going to love seeing this. The spawning pool is only halfway finished. Drone making its way out. I think Tom was thinking about going for a third hatch. Overlord does see, okay, on that scouting pattern, the Overlord does see the Zealot making its way in. Gas being dropped at 241, by the way. Never mind, canceled. Well, that was interesting. Dropping the gas canceled on the follow-up. And a third hatchery drop now at the 9 o'clock. As the Zealot making its way into the natural expansion, we do have 2 Zerglings queued. The Zealot should be able to get in the main. And the probe, has he softened? I believe he softened up, gotten a little bit of damage on one of these drones. But the Zealot already getting some disruption here. Pretty decent drill right there. One drone goes down. The Zealot gonna get the second drone. Probe's been wiped out. And the Zealot's taking hefty damage. The second Zealot's gonna hold short. Pretty decent defense here from Tom. He only lost the single drone and lost a bit of mining time, but honestly not a lot. And he only invested 6 Zerglings to the total of this. So I don't think Neoko's, and he lost that probe in the field. I know that Neoko's gonna be happy with that. Extractor was canceled in the space of it. Zealot running in, almost able to get a third hit on the drone before getting wiped out, but that should be it. And we got the third base already building. That Overlord piping in might want to draw back as that cannon is warping along that edge. Second Zealot there to blockade, but Neoko was able to get his Nexus up fairly quickly in the space of this, but with that lack of economic damage of the gateway opener, I don't think he's going to feel all that comfortable. Zerglings making the way forward. This is a full block here, but the Zerglings mostly wanting to go for a forward engagement in case these Zealots start moving out across the field. Extractor humming. I'm wondering if that extractor cancel might have thrown Tom off his build. Right now he's supply capped slightly, so he's got a lot of larvae to work with. Investing them now, immediately saturating up to 26. 7 drones off the board, but his economy is going to take a little bit of a halter there and speed up pretty quickly on the turnaround. Tom really cycling the drones heavily. Usually you'll see a pause around 23 in the mid game. Does need to get those. I think I just chose the wrong moment. Doesn't need to get them going. It looks like he's going for a Hydralisk Den, recognizing that he's got Neoko in the dark. And let's see if this is going to turn into something. I think this is just going to turn into a pure Hydralisk attack. I don't think this is going to be 973 because it looks like it's already 983 and another, never mind, another, it looks like it is 973, just different spread. The total number of drones is the same. The positioning is different, although this drone making its way up to the 9 o'clock just to make sure that it's silly, and we do see that pause around 23. Hydralisk speed being upgraded, by the way, so you know that Tom is serious about this. Second assimilator dropped. Stargate building Citadel of a Dune plopped down as well. And we'll see if Neoko holds the... He's dropping that second defensive cannon, but let's see if he starts stacking resources right this moment, because this is really where you want, you kind of want that pause, the pregnant pause for Protoss, to know whether to drop a bunch of cannons to help defend and pull the boys and try to defend on the front. These 8 Zerglings also going to be able to provide a nice little bit of support. We do have 8 Zealots here on the front, but even without this, the Hydra should be able to pick off +1 weapons without too much trouble. Let's see if there's a range upgrade immediately after. That's usually the trick. This is going to be a slew of Hydralisks and absolutely no indication. More Hydralisks being built. Speed alone, and Neoko only has enough resources right this second to drop 1 additional cannon, and he just invested it. The single Zergling checking the front, backing off. Here we go. Zealot getting engaged on. Now another cannon getting dropped. I think the Hydralisks have been spotted. Tom not engaging. Now 2 additional cannons have been plopped down. Some additional bits might have been canceled to make room for that. 3 cannons warping in and Tom just holding. Okay, now going. A lot of time wasted idling there for Tom. Could have been successful. There are only 2 cannons in place. Probes now pulling. Still might be successful here. The Zerglings having trouble making something happen. Some probes are getting wiped out. 1 cannon up. Also a bit of delay on that range upgrade, keep in mind. Cannons are dying as they're spawning, however, and the probe's not able to get across the base. The Hydra's having trouble shooting over, pushing into the gap. Second cannon up, and it looks like that's going to drop. I don't know that these 3 cannons are going to finish. And the Zerglings made it through to provide support as well. I think that is going to do it. And Tom, despite a little bit of delay there with the turnaround, also the Corsair didn't get active to wipe out the Overlord. You can see some drones were rallied actually at the front. Neoko has been dispatched 2-0 to Tom. He will go on to face a lot. Man, Tom actually showing some good stuff. He saw some good macro game 1. And not perfect, but not a bad Hydralisk bus in game 2, which shows you he's got some versatility and some danger. We might see him in later stages here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for listening.